Hello. Hello, and welcome to the live stream here at Unlocking Black History. I'm Kevin Zimmerman. Folks, I have got to tell you, go to the Obama Presidential Center. If you have not gotten an opportunity to do that, please put that on your bucket list. Now, I am going to share some information with you about accessibility to the museum later on because it's a key point that we need to hit on. But I have to tell you that this was one of my best mini vacations, if you want to call it that I have ever had. There's only one other thing that ranked above this, and I would have to say that that was the Hawaii vacation on behalf of my wife and I, our anniversary and celebrating my retirement all in one. But especially when it comes to vacationing in the United States, we had a wonderful time. I was able to enjoy this historical moment with family. I mean, we all went to Chicago. My wife and I, of course, we're coming from the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area. We had family come in from the Boston area. We had family drive up from the Atlanta area, and we rented a Airbnb and just spent the last couple of days over this past weekend for this very, very moment. But I want to tell you that it is awesome. It is breathtaking. It is grand. It is everything. It is a awesome demonstration of excellence. Excellence personified. If you aren't putting this on your bucket list, I encourage you to consider doing that. This thing sits on 19 acres. We didn't even get a chance to see all of it when we were there, and we went there. We arrived on the 18th. The grand opening was the 19th. We got an opportunity to go into the museum on the 20th, and we left on the 21st. And those days in which I've mentioned, we spent hours there because it was thousands of people. And let me share with you, oh, not only was it thousands of people, but the energy was high. The energy was enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. It was nothing but positive energy that was there. People were there from all over the world that were present for that event. And so I want to encourage you once again, if you haven't thought about going, rethink that, because this is one of the things that I highly encourage everyone must see. Now, I know some people had hit me up, was talking about when I go to Chicago to fulfill what I had mentioned with my family, and that was to do two things. When you're there, you have to try a Chicago dog. So there it is. And to my surprise, that thing was delicious. We went to Patello's to get our Chicago dog. And when I got it, I looked at my wife and I said, I don't think I'm going to like it. But to my surprise, that thing was delicious. And it was made in a manner by which I know I cannot repeat, which is a good thing. Don't need to eat too many Chicago dogs. But when I ate the Chicago dog at Patello's, it was delicious, and everyone, it was eight of us, and everyone that had one in my family enjoyed it. But in addition to that, I also had the deep dish pizza. Look at that thing. Will you take a good look at that thing? I can assure you that I only ate that one piece that you see me extracting from the entire pie while I was there. That one piece of that is an entire meal. Derek is sitting to the left of me, and he and his two daughters ordered one as well. And when it was all said and done, it was two pieces of this one left, and those two pieces I gave to Derek and his family because they actually drove up from Atlanta and they could use it because they were staying a little bit longer than we were. But the two pieces that I gave them still made up one whole entire pie. So it was just fascinating. But before I dive in, and I'm going to share with you five key takeaways that I took away from being at the Obama Presidential Center. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to, I believe she said her name was Alicia. Alicia approached me, Elisa or Alicia, and please forgive me if I'm not saying the name correctly. But it was a wonderful moment where she saw me in line. We were standing in line trying to enter into the gift shop at the Obama Presidential Center. And when you stood in line, no matter what day you went, everything was 2 hours to get to. That's how many people was there. But she happened to notice me, and I thank you for approaching me and sharing the kind words that you shared with me, seeing me there at the grand opening of the Presidential Center. She shared with me how the videos that we're sharing and the information that we're sharing is impactful. And for me, it allowed me to see the reach that our project is making. I've shared with many of you already that during that weekend while we were there, just on the Facebook group alone, now that's not even including what's happening on Twitter or what's happening on the YouTube channel, but just on the Facebook page alone, we've obtained over 10,000 followers on that weekend while we were at the Obama Presidential Center. To date, just a few days removed from being at the Presidential Center, we have increased that number to where we are now at over 12,000 followers. But for Alicia, thank you, thank you, thank you for the kind words that you provided when you saw me there at the Obama Presidential Center. Now, I want to take this time to go over five key points. And please forgive me, my teleprompter is not functioning, but that's okay. We have enough digital equipment just with the use of cell phones where I can make some notes to share with you. But I do want to share with you five key takeaways that I got from being there. Takeaway number one was that Black history was presented as American history. The Presidential Center emphasized that the narrative of the Obama presidency cannot be separated. It has to be linked to the stories of the civil rights movement, immigrations, labor activations, and voting rights, and the struggles of Americans. It was open on Juneteenth, June the 19th. And when we connect the first Black president to the broader Black freedom struggle, opening the Presidential Center on that day symbolically linked one of the nation's greatest struggles to one of the nation's greatest achievements, and that was the election of Barack Obama as the first Black president of America. The second takeaway is focused on citizenship. And that was the strongest theme, where Obama repeatedly emphasized that democracy is not a spectator sport. He emphasized that democracy requires getting involved in voting, getting involved in community involvements and civic participation. It takes every generation to do that in order for us to have the ability to move democracy forward. Another key takeaway while I was there was where he located, or where they, and I want to make sure that I place a strong emphasis on they, where he and Michelle, because Michelle Obama was just as much as an influence to what was happening there as President Obama. And when you go to the center, you will see Michelle's fingerprints all over the place. So where they decided to put the place was another thing that stood out to me, because they put it on the south side of Chicago. And it was stated that the decision to put it there sends a message that important institutions and investments belong in communities that have been historically overlooked for centuries. And to have the courage and the will to say that we are going to bring the world's investment right here to the south side of Chicago, not forgetting where they grew up themselves. Was a very, very powerful thing. And one thing that it did was beautify the area. And you won't know what that means fully until you make the decision to go. Because one of the things that you'll get an opportunity to do while you're at that center is to go out to the Sky Tower. And when you go out to the Sky Tower, you're able to look out around the city of Chicago. And boy, is it breathtaking. It is absolutely breathtaking. So make sure that you get an opportunity, that whether you I know I'm saying it 100 times, and I'll say it 100 times more. Make sure you strongly consider taking the opportunity to go and visit the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. The fourth key point was it was designed as a community asset. And the notes here says, unlike traditional presidential libraries, the campus includes public gathering spaces, gardens, recreational facilities, art planning, and civic engagement opportunities. Because the vision is for the center to be a living institution that develops future leaders rather than simply preserving artifacts from the past. I'm going to read that part again because I want you to remember that part when I touch on something that's coming up real soon. The vision is for the center to be a living institution that develops future leaders rather than simply preserving artifacts from the past. Okay, and the last key takeaway was that hope remains a powerful form of leadership. Hope remains a powerful form of leadership. So, before I expound on that, key takeaway number one was Black history was a present. Black history was presented as American history. Uh, Key takeaway number two: citizenship was the central message. Takeaway number three was Chicago's South Side was intentionally placed at the center of the story. Chicago's South Side was intentionally placed at the center of the story. Takeaway number four: the center is designed to be a community asset, not simply a museum. And takeaway number five says, hope remains a powerful form of leadership. And my note there says, both Michelle Obama and President Barack Obama repeated the theme of hope, optimism, and the belief in one another despite the political division and social tension. I'm glad that that key point is made because, as usual, whenever we do something supreme, whenever we do something superb, whenever we do something grand, when anyone, well, I'm going to be honest here. There are members of the white society, not everyone, but there are members of white society that just find it too difficult to get behind our successes. So they're always going to do three things. It's the oldest playbook in the world. It's same old playbook, just a different day. They're going to undervalue it. They're going to underestimate it, and they're going to marginalize it. Whenever we do something grand, it's going to be undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized. And so recently, Bill Maher makes this statement. It looks like something aliens built in Dubai. It cost $850 million. I don't understand why progressives like this. Couldn't that money be spent on something else? Remember that line. Couldn't that money be spent on something else? And who's going to go to this? Why does anyone need a presidential library? Well, I love providing facts when it comes to stupidity like this, and I am going to use that word. One, if you know anything about Chicago, Chicago is known for the architecture of its downtown. And the Obama Presidential Center was designed by Todd Williams and Billy Tessine. And I hope I pronounced her name correctly. This is a marriage couple that is renownedly known worldwide as two of the best architects in the world. And so they designed the building that if you see anything in downtown Chicago, that building that they have for the Barack Obama Presidential Museum and the entire design of the thing, it's fitting and it's beautiful, and it definitely shows that it took a world-renowned class act to be able to develop the structure. Now, everyone has their opinion, and they're right to their opinion. I personally don't have heartburn saying I think that the Tesla truck is one of the ugliest vehicles on the road. But my opinion doesn't matter when it comes to that. Neither does Bill Maher's. But there are those of us that do appreciate the works that was done by two of the world's greatest architects that is known throughout the world that built it. Then he says, once again, that money, he talked about the money that was spent and where the money was spent. Couldn't it be spent on something else? And I wanted to remind you of the statement that I asked you to remember, because I'm going to repeat it here. So when he says $850 million could have been spent somewhere else, the way the Obamas was thinking was this: the decision sent to put it on the south side of Chicago, that decision to put the center on the south side of Chicago sends a message that important institutions and investments belong in communities that have historically been long overlooked. The decision sends a message that important institutions and investments belong in communities that have been historically long overlooked. So when he asks the question, or when he says, or people like him says, those that agree with him says, couldn't that money have been spent somewhere else? Yes, it could have. Historically, it has been. But the Obamas take pride in the very community that they were shaped and developed in to rise to the pinnacle of the United States. So if you got a problem with where they chose to put it, that's a you problem. It's not a they problem, and it certainly is not an our problem. Okay. And then um, when he goes on, I want to make sure that I look at another idiotic statement that was made. He said, "Who's going to go to this anyway?" Glad you asked, because as of today, if you don't already have tickets to access the museum portion of the Obama Presidential Center, you will not have access to get into that place until November of 2026. It is already sold out throughout the month of October. That's correct. If you do not have tickets already to get into the Barack Obama Presidential Center Museum, it is sold out throughout the month of October. You cannot get access to go into the museum portion up until the month of November. Last idiotic statement that was made is, why does anyone need a presidential library? Oh boy. Well, as stated before, it has a library, but this is a presidential center. And one of the things that both Barack and Michelle Obama emphasize is that this is not about us. This is about the community. That's what that is all about. It's not about them. It is about the community. Once again, unlike traditional presidential libraries, the campus includes public gathering spaces, gardens, recreational facilities, art programming, and civic engagement opportunities. The vision is for the center to be a living institution that develops future leaders rather than simply preserving artifacts from the past. The Obamas consistently emphasized that the community, not only just on the south side of Chicago, all over the United States, all around the world, this is for you. They didn't place emphasis upon that being there to be a monument to them. They continuously emphasize this is your center. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, go. While I have you here, I also just want to share with you a couple of things. One, there is parking underground if you go and you drive to the Presidential Center. But if you don't want to drive there, we parked downtown under what they call the bean. Many of you know what the bean is. Just look it up. It is a big reflective bean that is a world kind of I forgot what you call them, but what they can recognize it throughout the world. Where you go and you see all this reflection. But we parked at the bean and we rode the train. And we rode the train all the way to the Presidential Center, which probably, I would say it probably took us between 10 to 15 minutes from the bean to ride the train from that location over to the Presidential Center. Another thing, It will take you the entire day. And spending the whole day, if you go and you can make a weekend of it, but I would highly encourage that you plan an entire day at the Obama Presidential Center. Do not split it. Do not say, well, we're going to do this part in Chicago and then we're going to do this part at the Presidential Center. It's too big. It's too much to take in. It's grand. It is excellent. Excellence personified. I can't emphasize that enough. Plan on being there an entire day. And they got restaurants. Yeah, it's a restaurant in there as far as eating. Or if you want to bring a picnic and eat outside, they have accommodations for that. It is a children's area there. They got a basketball court there. It's so much that is there. So much that is there. And when you do get an opportunity to go up in the museum, the information that is being laid out is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. So make sure that you plan on spending an entire day when you go. One of my family members emphasized that I make mention that when you go into the gift shop, to exercise fiscal responsibility when you go into the gift shop because you are going to want to purchase a lot of stuff. Trust me, I know. But my wife and I like getting things more than my wife likes getting things for all the members of the family. But what I will say is that's one time that I did not mind investing because none of the monies made or spent at the museum goes into the pockets of the Obamas. It goes all of it, 100% of it goes back to the center and back to the communities and the program that it supports. None of the money from the center. They make $0. The Obamas make $0 from any of the monies that is spent at the Obama Presidential Center. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time that's come up. Once again, if that's not on your bucket list, I encourage you to reconsider and putting that on the bucket list. Listen, it took America 230 plus years to elect a black president. And of all those years, you can tie my father's statement in that I've shared with you on several of occasions, and that's this: anything about us not represented by us is not for us. It's important that we have a representation in all facets of life, that we have an opportunity to have a democratic democratic involvement in. That's very important. And America has pushed for years that we as Black Americans do not have that opportunity. And then when we get that opportunity, they want to make it difficult for us to exercise that opportunity. Well, this is a demonstration of our resilience and our resistance, but you will see that no matter what efforts America has made, one of the things you have not done is held us back because we have overcome every challenge. And when we talk about things of this nature, it's not that we're holding ourselves back or you're holding us back. We're just telling the truth of the efforts that you attempt to use to hold us back. But that presidential center says you could not stop us then, and you will not stop us now. So please, please go. If you get an opportunity, if it's possible, if you want to go in there, you got plenty of time because you can't even get in there into the museum anyway until the month of November. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I hope I've shared something with you that has inspired you or encouraged you to go and visit the Obama Presidential Center. And hey, I'll see you at the next video.